All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Okay, guys, so Bitcoin did make a new high today. Unfortunately, Bitcoin came up to our pitchfork band, not only on Coinbase. You can see this pitchfork band has been rejecting us the last 4 tries here. But if we go to our bigger, more important pitchfork on Bybit here, you can see that we are rejecting from the Bybit pitchfork as well, pitchfork band. After losing it on Friday, we came up, had an immediate low time frame backtest, rejected, made new lows. That could have been a nice scalp short there because it was also the bearish backtest of the Bybit all-time high. We rejected that, came down, made new lows. And then over the weekend, we kind of continued to grind down, SFPing the Friday lows on Sunday and seeing that bit of a push up to the golden pocket. Now, yesterday, after I made the video, we did push down, hitting into the local golden pocket. If we just do a golden pocket pull from Sunday's lows to Sunday's highs, and we look at that golden pocket area, we did wick a little bit past it, but you can see bouncing from the golden pocket and then coming up and SFPing Sunday highs. So our weekend highs have been taken out. And what do we say about weekend highs? Oftentimes weekend highs and weekend lows do get taken out. So SFP of Sunday's highs, also another bearish backtest of the pitchfork band, and Bitcoin is rejecting, continuing to drop here. We are below the Bybit all-time high, and if we go on to Coinbase, we are even below the Coinbase all-time high here. You can see just a few hours ago, we pushed up to backtest that Coinbase all-time high and are rejecting from that. So there's a couple things that I'm watching on Bitcoin. I did make the video yesterday on Bitcoin just forming a bit of a range here. Now, this range could either be a failed auction type of range where we dump back into our larger volume profile, or it could be a range before continued breakout to the upside, like a true breakout into price discovery. But I do expect Bitcoin to range and for alts to kind of rally against Bitcoin a bit. So I'll go into that in just a bit. But let's look at Bitcoin. We can take a volume profile of this range. So I'm just looking at pretty much all the price action above the value area high since we've broken out of our macro range value area high, that 6-month range that we've been in. And we can see here, let's actually go onto Coinbase, because on Coinbase's chart, let's come up to Coinbase. Yeah, okay, Bybit's chart. It was Bybit's chart. So if we look at this price action, let's pull our volume profile just from the value area high onwards. And you can see that we are pretty much rejecting from the value area high of the range, and we're coming down to the value area low. We didn't quite make it down to the value area low on the drop yesterday's lows, which was also a holiday. So we do need to remember both Sunday's lows and yesterday's lows are holiday, at least for the United States. It was Memorial Day, so markets were closed. And what I'm looking at on Bitcoin here, let's zoom out here on the charts. Let's go onto the daily chart. And let's look at this value area high that is here around 106. Bybit, it's 105.7. On Coinbase, it's at 106. And since we have broken out of this bigger value area high, we have not come back down to bullishly backtest it yet. And if this is going to be a true breakout into new levels of price discovery, we really want to see the market, after rejecting from a resistance, which we are rejecting from a pitchfork band of resistance, we want to see the market come down and backtest what used to be that major resistance for 6 months, resistance here, resistance a bit here. And we want to backtest that resistance and now confirm a flip to support. So what used to be overvalued for Bitcoin, the value area high is considered the overvalued price for that asset within that volume profile. Now that we are above it, the market is looking to flip what used to be overvalued into support and consider the fair value of Bitcoin at higher prices. So what I'm looking for primarily is a move down to 106, maybe 105.7, to backtest this value area high to see whether it's going to hold as support, and we are going to continue higher to make new all-time highs and break out to pretty much, new all-time highs, or we are going to re-enter back within that volume profile and see a much bigger dump to the downside, maybe coming all the way down to our point of control around 96.6, or even the value area low, which is where our macro golden pocket is, around 88 to 87K, 89 to 87. So this is what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. For now, you can play the range until it breaks. So if we zoom back in on the chart and just go to the hourly chart and look at this upper range that we're in here, I am looking at just a couple levels here. If we do our Fibonacci retrace from Sunday's lows to today's highs, you can see that 786 is coming in right on top of our internal liquidity grab from yesterday's lows. So weekend lows or holiday lows into our 786, a liquidity grab of yesterday's lows into our 786 could be an area where we do see a small bounce, but preferably it would be nicer to come all the way down to the value area high, which in that case we would take out not only Monday's lows, but we would take out Sunday's lows and see a bullish backtest of that value area high. Hopefully it holds its support and we can continue to work our way higher. If it does fail, there's a couple other areas that I have interest in for potential longs, but we need to be really, really careful here, because if we zoom back out onto the daily before I go into local supports, we do have a potential impulse that could be completed. And if this impulse from 74K is up to new all-time highs is completed, and we are going to see a bigger retracement down, you know, that golden pocket area is a major area where you do see a bigger correction end before another giant impulse to the upside, a big daily impulse to the upside. So, and of course, we'll play it level to level. There's many levels before we get to this golden pocket, but this golden pocket is going to be a key level for Bitcoin to hold around 88.7 to 87.5. Okay, so let's zoom back in on the hourly chart and let's look at our local support levels. First and foremost, 786 is a level where we could see a bounce. I will look for long if we have the confirmed swing failure pattern. If we do not have a confirmed swing failure pattern, no trade. The next level that I'm looking at is this level that I highlighted yesterday, which is going to be around 105K to 104.6, which is the golden pocket pull. And that golden pocket pull is going to be from our last week's range lows up to our new all-time high. If you pull your golden pocket, you can see that golden pocket is going to be coming in right on our pitchfork midline, which this pitchfork midline on Coinbase has held the last 3 times we've hit into it, 4 times we've hit into it. Buyers have stepped in and held it. It was acting as a nice support level to continue to push Bitcoin up to higher prices. So that area at 105 to 104.6, and if we lose 104.6, the next level I'm going to be looking for on the charts is the liquidity grab of our last week's range lows, of May 12th range lows, around 100K. Let's go on to our liquidation heat map here, and you can see we do have some liquidity resting right around 105, where that golden pocket and pitchfork midline is. So that's good to see that if we do come down and bounce from 105, we would be grabbing some liquidity, stopping out some late longers, and then continuing to push up here. But if we go on to the Model 3 heat map and let's look at the last 2 weeks of price action, the majority of the liquidity, and let me go on to Bybit here. Bybit, here we go. The majority of the liquidity is resting below 100K. You can see right down here about 100K, 100.6. We would take all that liquidity, and of course the 100.6 level is the liquidity that is resting below May 12th range lows. So yeah, couple levels, very, very locally, 786, then value area high at 106. That's really the key level that needs to hold. If we start to lose 106, Bitcoin can be in significant trouble. But we could see a deviation as well, because this value area high is really a high volume node. It's not an exact level, even though on the chart it's going to show as an exact level. It's more of a volume area of support. And so it would be acceptable to wick past it just a bit to 105 to grab that liquidity and see a quick reclaim of that value area high, and then a continuation to higher levels, to new all-time highs. But if we lose 105, honestly, the only thing I'm going to be looking for is that liquidity grab at 100.7. And then if we lose that 96.6, you know, the pitchfork band, and actually let's go to our bigger Bybit pitchfork here. At 96.6, you can see here, let's zoom out onto the 4-hour chart. And by the time we work our way down there, that point of control of our macro range is going to be in pretty close alignment with that pitchfork midline at 96.6 to 97K. And that is where I would be interested in looking for a swing long opportunity. Now, as we know with volume profiles, the point of control is where the most volume in that asset has been traded. So for in this instance, since November 11th, the fair value for Bitcoin has been considered around 97K, 96.6 to 97K. Now we tried to break out. This is in the case that we do break back into our volume profile. We tried to break out of the value area, tried to break to new levels of price discovery. If we do see a breakdown back with inside, that means this would be like a failed auction type of movement where we do break down inside. The overvalued area for the asset in the last 6 months has been around 105K, 106K. If we do not hold 106K and the market no longer is not considering Bitcoin undervalued at 106K, then we will work our way back down to the point of control, which is where the most volume is traded, and it's the prior fair value for Bitcoin over the past 6 months. Now, if we come down here and the market is still overall bullish on Bitcoin, then we expect what used to be considered fair value for Bitcoin to act as a major support level, where then the big whales will push the price up into new levels of price discovery because they will see this as an opportunity, a discount, and an opportunity to get Bitcoin at fair value and then see higher prices to come to make money on Bitcoin. So that is what I'm looking at on Bitcoin. Not too much here besides that. Slow day. We do expect this day to be slow. Weekends, markets were closed yesterday for Memorial Day, at least in the United States. And I just want to say this week is going to be a very, very key week for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, now it could range for a week or over a week in this area. But if Bitcoin does, it's at a major decision point. Let me just say that. After this range is finished here, if Bitcoin breaks back down into the volume profile, we can expect a much bigger retracement. If Bitcoin can hold the value area high, we can expect new all-time highs to come, and possibly even up to 130K, 131K, depending on time. So that's what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Let's go on to our CVD and open interest, and let me just refresh this here, make sure it's all good. Okay, and let's zoom out to the 15-minute chart. Let's just go ahead and look at what is up with Bitcoin. So I will say our open interest looks really bad. And this is an aggregated open interest, but you can see how up and down it is, how wavy it is. We don't really have good, clear momentum on the open interest one way or the other, at least since Friday, since May 22nd here. But our CVD overall is going down, means overall active market participants are shorting the market. But Bitcoin is not making, at least from Sunday's lows, Bitcoin is making higher lows on the price action. So we are seeing bullish CVD divergence on the price action of Bitcoin, but it's not absorption. It's not very clear absorption. This is more flat and wavy. This does tell me that Bitcoin might hold and we might continue up higher. Even if we come down and take out the weekend lows into 106K, the way that the market continues to short Bitcoin here, and it's not really relenting and dropping and capitulating, 106K could hold on the bullish backtest. I will be looking for longs from 106K if we have confirmations on our indicators like Market Cipher and NAMI here. And we could look for that bigger push up, at least to the top of the pitchfork band. Now, last Thursday, I was talking about the top of this pitchfork band, and I was saying around 113.7 is the area to be looking. Well, you guys can see that this pitchfork band is a dynamic resistance, meaning the price of the resistance changes with time. As more time goes on, the resistance gets to a higher price level. So if we do something like come down, range for a bit, come down and backtest that value area high and spend some time trying to work our way back up there, you can see that the top of the pitchfork band is really going to be closer to 114.5 up to 115K. And that will continue to rise in price as more time goes on. So I'm no longer really looking at 113.7. I'm now going to be looking closer to 114.7 to 115K for Bitcoin to have a possible bigger rejection to the downside. So for me, long opportunities, main long opportunity I'm looking at is the bullish backtest of the value area high. If it bounces there, I will be looking to take it up to the top of the pitchfork band and maybe even higher. And then, of course, if we do come up to the top of the pitchfork band and we are seeing bearish confirmations continue on the charts, I will look for a short from there, at least to take it back down. We would have to look at our range levels and some Fibonacci's, but I would be looking to take it back down to the value area high again on another bullish back test of that value area high. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for Bitcoin. Not too much else to talk about on the charts here. Let's go on to our daily. Did I mark out the daily yet? Okay, we do have a new daily level on Bitcoin. Let's just throw that up on the charts here. Okay. Okay, so new daily level, and we could look for a rejection from that area. Let's see, where is that? Let me do it on the Coinbase chart here, where my main TA is. Okay, Coinbase, it's actually a little bit higher. It's closer to 109.5 rather than 109.382. Which, by the way, is right where our previous all-time high is on Coinbase. So that's going to be an important level to be watching. Okay, so there's that. And then let me just check our new naked daily points of controls. All right, come on here. Okay, and we do have a new naked daily point of control as well. That closed from yesterday. That is right around 110.3, 110.2. There we go. All right, so that is it for Bitcoin. Let's now go on to Bitcoin dominance because I want to talk about dominance. We've been talking about dominance here the last few days, and what I want to talk about with dominance pretty much is the same as yesterday. But I did say in my video yesterday we can expect altcoins to rally a bit if Bitcoin does reject from this golden pocket area. You can see we came up to the top of our channel, we rejected the top of the channel, came down to the midline, and if we go up, zoom out to that 2-day chart, you can see we just had some wicks past the midline, but overall the midline held just like it held in this prior range here, and we shot up to backtest our golden pocket. Does look like we're starting to reject this golden pocket. We saw a fake out a little bit above the golden pocket here. But if we do start to really reject this golden pocket here, we could look for that bigger ABC correction, ABC, down maybe to the bottom of the channel. And what that means is that Bitcoin dominance would be dropping and altcoins might be rallying against Bitcoin. If I go back onto Bitcoin, let's go onto our daily chart first of all. And let's go back to Bitcoin here. And let's look at Bitcoin on our indicators here. So you can see on Market Cipher B, we have that triple drive of daily bear div, but our money flow still looks pretty healthy. But we do have some high time frame bearish warning signals on Bitcoin. Also, if we look at NAMI, multiple drives of bear div on the momentum waves. And if we look at our money flow, 1, 2, 3 humps, 3 drives of bear div on money flow as well. Money flow has been leaving the asset since we've hit that value area high, since we've come up into this area. So we are seeing high time frame bearish signals, warning signals on the chart here for Bitcoin. If we go to some of the altcoins, let me just go to Ethereum real quick. No bear divs on the daily. You can see this. Higher highs here, but no higher highs here. Excuse me. No higher highs here. And so we are not seeing bear divs confirmed on Ethereum on the daily. If we go on to Solana, no bear divs confirmed on Solana yet. Actually, yes, now there is with today's high, but you can see that's bear div now that is formed. Not today's high, Friday's high. But the altcoins are looking, I would say, overall better as far as our high time frame bearish signals. Altcoins do not have the bearishness that Bitcoin is showing right now on its chart. So I would say here, look at XRP, no bear divs here. We do have higher highs here, but it's more like equal highs here. And I do think the altcoins are looking a little bit healthier than Bitcoin as far as the higher time frame warning signals. So if we put all this into context, and Bitcoin is going to range for a bit to try to discover whether it's going to break out of this higher range here, this last 6 month range, and continue to new price discovery levels, or if it's going to have a failed auction and break back within the volume profile. That could take some time for the market to figure that out. And while that happens, if Bitcoin's just ranging, we know when Bitcoin ranges, alts can decide to pump, especially if sentiment is bullish, which I would say sentiment is very bullish still. And so I'm looking at some of the altcoins to maybe outperform Bitcoin over the next few couple weeks here. And it could be some really good opportunities to long some altcoins, scalp long, because we do have to remember we're at the top of mega pumps on many altcoins. But I would say we could see some strength on altcoins against Bitcoin. So speaking of that, let's go into Ethereum and let's zoom in onto the 1 hour chart. So Ethereum is still just trading in its range. And yesterday I talked about how Ethereum, we did have that sort of double top, first top here on May 12th, May 13th, or whatever it was, Tuesday, May 13th. We had hit into the top of the pitchfork band, perfect, saw rejection over the weekend. Sunday's lows are still intact. But today we came up and we hit the pitchfork band pretty much to the dollar again and rejected the pitchfork band again here. So a couple things I'm looking at here on Ethereum. I still do think Ethereum has the probabilities are higher for Ethereum to continue upwards, and based on the bigger daily 1-2 impulse that we're looking at, that I've described in many of my prior videos. And you can see here this range that we've been in for a couple weeks since May 10th. We're now above the value area high of that range. And you can see actually we're in the process of kind of back testing it now. We broke out of it today, rejected from our resistance. If we can hold this value area high, we can probably push up to that weekly around 28.19. And if we do fail the bullish backtest of the value area high, then the next level I'd be watching is if we do a golden pocket pull from Sunday's lows, Sunday's lows up to today's highs, our golden pocket is coming in right around that point of control. So this could be a nice, good area. Over the past 2 weeks, this 25.51 area is considered fair value for Ethereum. If we come down there and our golden pocket's also in confluence, we could see a bounce from that area and finally break this pitchfork band of resistance that has been rejecting us multiple times. Now, if the golden pocket doesn't hold, then we're probably going to come take out our weekend lows, which oftentimes do get taken out. So our weekend lows are resting down here at 24.63. And you can see the value area low of the range that we front run on Sunday is right down there. And also our anchored VWAP from our cycle highs at 4,100 are down there. So that's the next area I would be looking, between 24.64 and 24.54. And then, of course, if we break that, we still have our ABC correction target and the liquidity grab of the range lows down here at 23.23. But overall, I do expect Ethereum to continue higher. We might not even break back down and take the weekend lows. If we can bounce from this value area high retest right now, we might not even come down and take out our weekend lows before continuing up to new highs on Ethereum. Okay, so that is it for Ethereum. Now, I'm just going to go over some of the altcoins pretty quickly here. Solana is still just trading within its range. We did reject, so you can see here on the weekend, on Sunday, we bounced from value area low. We worked our way up, almost to the value area high. We front ran it a little bit, but we came down and we back tested yesterday our point of control as support, which was also a local golden pocket area. If we just do our golden pocket pull from the lows to the highs here, actually closer to our 786 area, excuse me. So we bounced from our 786 and our point of control, and then we came up and made new highs, and finally hit into the value area high that we front run here. Hit into the value area high. We're seeing a rejection from the value area high. So now we can look at, I'm really looking at the next long that I'm interested in on Solana is going to be down here where the value area low is in confluence with a naked weekly point of control, right around 168 to 169. that is the area we would also grab the liquidity from the weekend lows. We do know weekend lows oftentimes get taken out. So a liquidity grab into our naked weekly point of control would be nice to see. It's also at the bottom of our range. But I do expect Solana continue to overall continue up to 194, up to 200, and possibly much higher, maybe up to 220 to 225 up in this area. And like I said in yesterday's video, because we've gotten so close to this major purple box of resistance here, but we haven't come into it and we're forming consolidation right underneath it, that is actually bullish consolidation you're seeing right underneath resistance. So there is a possibility that we don't even see a reaction at this level, that we bust straight through it up to 220, 225. Just want to warn about that. Okay, that is it for Solana. Let's go into SUI. SUI is also kind of just ranging here for the past couple of weeks. So we can look at two different ranges, just like I showed you guys in yesterday's video. We can look at this bigger range that kind of combines the last two ranges. Let me just delete this real quick. We had this range in here, and then we had a new upper range in here. And SUI is just kind of chopping it around. Now, if we pull just this last range that we're in here, we are below the value area low, and you can see we're coming up to reject it right now. So depending on, I do think SUI has more downside at play possible, and based off that bigger 5-wave daily impulse completing, and I showed you guys that in yesterday's video. So SUI, if we do reject this here, we could continue down at least to 311 to grab our range lows down here, but we could continue to drop much, much more all the way down to like our macro golden pocket between 243 and 226. But SUI, if we can get back within the volume profile here, you can see that our point of control is in pretty close alignment with our golden pocket here, and that is going to be around 390 to 387. And that could be a resistance where we do reject after seeing this push down here. We could look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-wave impulse down. If we do see something like this, a 3-wave move up into that area, and then we could see another bigger impulse down in a bigger ABC correction. Now, because SUI, let's zoom out onto the daily chart. Because SUI has potentially completed its very clear 5-wave impulse here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we could be expecting a bigger ABC all the way down to the golden pocket, which if you look here, this golden pocket area is where the point of control of our major range is. And it's also, golden pocket. We have a monthly down there as well. I just want to make you guys aware, look at this low volume gap in the middle. So if we start to lose these range lows at 311 and not SFP them, there's pretty much a straight shot down to the golden pocket at 243. I would be very wary. 311 is a very key level liquidity grab. And if we don't see a confirmed swing failure pattern, then we have a high likelihood to drop down to this golden pocket. Okay, that's it for SUI. Let's go into XRP. XRP is still just chopping, guys, as well in the same area. And if we look at XRP, we did lose just like yesterday. Not too much to update. XRP did nothing today, pretty much. We did lose the point of control of our more macro range since December. We are holding below that point of control. So what's the highest likelihood if we reject the value area high like we did up here? We lost the point of control. We have a high likelihood of continuing down to our value area low, which is going to be right around 206, which we do have a key weekly level and a key monthly level down there. If I turn on our monthlies and I turn on our weeklies, you can see that right around that value area low, we have that monthly and that weekly level value area low. So that's what I'd be looking at overall, but I would, let me preface this first though. We do have some nice support before that level. This level of support that I just had marked out, let me zoom actually out to the 4-hour chart. And we do have a point of control of our smaller range in confluence with a naked weekly point of control and a weekly level down here at 215 to 213. I do still think alts can rally against Bitcoin, but if Bitcoin's going to drop to 106K, the alts will drop a bit too with Bitcoin as it's going down there. And then when Bitcoin bounces from 106K, the alts could rally a lot harder than Bitcoin. Bitcoin could pump up pretty quick, but alts could really pump if they see Bitcoin holding what used to be considered overvalued now as support. So yeah, a couple of levels to look at on XRP, and really we have to remain with a bearish bias on XRP until we reclaim this point of control and this anchored VWAP from the all-time highs around 241 to 242. So as long as XRP is down below there, we do have a possibility to grind down to these support levels. Okay, that is it for XRP. Now let's lastly go to Chainlink. And Chainlink is just chopping around as well. We have this descending channel that we're chopping on. I made this descending channel in a stream earlier today. And overall, Chainlink is looking good. Just like I showed you guys in yesterday's video, we're flipping that bigger pitchfork band to support. And where did we come down to yesterday? I made only one local support yesterday in yesterday's video for a scalp long to play the range. Remember, we pulled this volume profile here and we were looking at playing this range until it breaks. So we were looking at, since we were below, or since we were rejecting on this liquidity grab, this internal liquidity grab here, if we were going to drop, the level to drop to would be our golden pocket retrace from our Sunday's weekend lows up to the highs from yesterday. And if we look at that golden pocket, you can see that golden pocket was right on top of that value area low of our range. And we also had a naked daily point of control there. So that was the level that I marked out yesterday for a scalp long opportunity. And you can see we came down, hit our naked daily point of control perfect, hit our value area low in our golden pocket, and we are seeing a nice trade off of that, a nice bounce. I'm going to delete this naked daily point of control now. I'm going to delete this golden pocket, and I'm going to delete this box. But the only level of support that I gave you that I was interested in trading on Link yesterday did play out. If you long this here, the first take profit level would be the point of control area. And look at where we pumped up to, the point of control, where we are finding some resistance right now on that point of control. So very successful scalp trade there. And we did hit the naked daily point of control up here as well. So I'll delete this naked daily point of control. That's where we're kind of finding a rejection right now, or some resistance at least right now, and the range point of control. But overall, now if Chainlink can flip this point of control that we're at right now to support, we can work our way up to the value area high, which is where the top of our descending channel is. And then if we pull our Fibonacci and we look at our 786, our 786 is going to be right up there as well. So 786 value area high, top of the channel. That is going to be our local area of resistance within this range. If we're just going to trade the range until it breaks. So if we see bearish confirmations coming up to this area, we could look for a short up there. Okay, so that is about it though, guys. Still just ranging for a lot of assets. The market's kind of making up its mind here. But I would say overall Chainlink is looking more bullish because we have flipped our major pitchfork level of resistance now to support, and it is holding above that pitchfork level. So yes, we might chop around in this channel for a bit more. Like it's possible we come up to the top of the channel, reject, and then come down and take our Sunday lows out, and maybe even the range lows here. But I do think overall, Chainlink is going to see that bigger breakout. So if we do come down to this next level of support that I have down here, which is between 14.3 and 14.1 that I've been talking to you guys about, I do think this could be a nice swing long opportunity to take up to 21, where we do have our logarithmic golden pocket. We have our value area high of our bigger range, naked daily point of control. All that is going to be riding up there. Let's zoom out to the 6-hour chart. So you can see our golden pocket pulled from our cycle highs up here at $30 down to our lows. If we look at our logarithmic golden pocket, it's coming in right around $20 to $21. Well, we also have our pitchfork midline coming in right around $21. And we have our value area high of this macro range that goes back to November of 2023. So, a year and a half or so. 2024. Yeah, so I do think that $21 area is possible for Chainlink to work its way up to 21. And then once we get there, we're going to have to really monitor the charts to see how it reacts, see what kind of bearish signals we have up here. But overall, Chainlink, if we bounce from 14.3, we could look to take it up to 21. That's about it, guys. If you got anything out of this video, please like the video. Please share it with anybody you might find useful. And also, we do have a couple partners of the channel. We have BYDFI. They are a non-KYC and a no VPN exchange. They are offering up to 15% bonus cashback on your initial first deposit. And they are also offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move. and they are offering up to 17% discounts on trading fees. That's the VIP level 1 for using my affiliate link, but you can get actually up to 45% off trading fees depending on how much you deposit. So link is in the description for BYDFI. Good way to help out the channel and support the channel. And then the other partner of the channel is MEXC. They are offering up to 10% cash back on your initial deposit and up to $20,000 in futures trading bonuses. Links are in the description there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow.